It's News 360 live from Adesawe Kanda in Accra. I am Aisha Yakubu Khalid.
And my name is Pa Kwesi. Coming up in the next 60 minutes.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by
Flamingo Paint
and Napa Foods, Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Coil.
Elections Committee of the governing New Patriotic Party to conduct full-scale investigations into alleged assaults of polling agents during the Super Delegates Conference. Meanwhile, a runoff to break the fifth position tie.
Give in to the other, but it looks like they are all prepared to go the full haul.
Also coming up, NPP flag bearer aspirant Alan Kyerematen speaks publicly for the first time after Saturday's Super Delegates Conference.
What is happening clearly shows that this is not what we bargained for by joining the party. I'm not going to tolerate this kind of behavior. It doesn't make sense.
Later in the bulletin, President Akufo-Addo cautions maritime rating organizations over inaccurate reportage as it can impact a nation's global trade participation.
Government will continue with its naval infrastructure construction policy to improve the Navy's maritime response time.
In business, Ghana Hotels Association calls out the Public Utilities Regulatory Authority for failing to get the Ghana Water Company Limited to correct anomalies with the classification of its members.
And elsewhere on the international front, Wagner chief Prigozhin buried in private funeral. Latest details of these and many more stories coming up in the next 60 minutes. Remember, we're streaming live on Facebook. We're also live on your DSTV channel 279. You can join us with your views, comments, and suggestions on any of our top stories this hour. Feel free to visit any of our social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
The New Patriotic Party says it will conduct a full-scale investigation into the alleged assault of some polling agents during the Super Delegates Conference. The election committee of the party held a marathon meeting with some candidates who contested the election. My colleague Judith Awachitando has more.
And so an almost 8-hour-long period of deliberation has finally come to an end, with some flag-bearer aspirants as well as representatives venting their displeasure over a number of issues that occurred during the MPP Super Delegates Congress last Saturday.
A lot of people are not happy with the Northeast issue. I think the Nalerugu issue is the only region that something did not go well. And I think there's going to be further investigation to basically ascertain.
The meeting involved representatives from the Island and the Efia Koto camps, as well as Kojo Poku himself. And of course, one of the biggest contenders, Kennedy Japan, came along with a vehicle full of evidence. And after hours, he refused to utter a word on the outcome. But while we await the recommendations, the national chairman of the party, Stephen Ayesu, and team did not mince words when he stated that all persons who were found culpable of attacks will be punished for their actions.
That's one. Disciplinary measures will be put in place, investigations will be conducted, and if somebody is found to be culpable, discipline will be meted out accordingly.
Now, spokesperson for the election committee, Afenyo Markings, however, says another meeting is bound to be held.
They had an opportunity to give us a full report of what happened. We are going to meet some other members again on Thursday. We also had an opportunity to meet with one of the aspirants who made certain statements, which statement went viral, and had a positive engagement with him. And I must say that so far, so good.
For now, we await recommendations from the election committee as well as the final verdict of the party on whether or not another electoral college will be held.
It's just a matter of prevailing on them to, if one could give in to the other. But it looks like they are all prepared to go the full haul. So we are getting ready to meet tomorrow, National Council. NEC will meet, followed by National Council, and then trying to find a solution.
Judith Awachitando, TV3 News. MPP headquarters, Accra.
Reminder, you're still watching News 360, our major news bulletin for the day. Now, still on the New Patriotic Party, flag bearer aspirant Alan Kyerematen has broken his silence on the attack on his agent in last Saturday's Super Delegates Conference. According to him, going forward, such incidents will not be tolerated.
Alan Kyerematen first visited his Northeast region agent, who was allegedly attacked during the Super Delegates Conference. The flag-bearer aspirant who placed third in the election said he will not countenance any such behavior going forward.
What happened to my colleague on Saturday was an act of total indiscipline and indecent behavior. How do we, as a decent party, going into an election, particularly at the level of superdelegates, superintend such behavior? I mean, look, we all joined the NPP because of our commitment to the values of the party. But what is happening clearly shows that this is not what we bargained for by joining the party. I'm not going to tolerate this kind of behavior. It doesn't make sense.
His agent, Zakaria Ali, narrated his ordeal.
The third person was the regional youth organizer. He voted and displayed his vote. So I confronted him and told him, my brother, that is not the way, the rule of the game. We are told that no one should use a phone to snap when you vote. Secondly, we have been told that no one should vote and display his vote. Oh, when I said it, he picked a plus chair and hit me, so I blocked him this way. So it hit my hand. The NASRA coordinator also rushed and hit me. So I saw that I was bleeding from my elbow. So when that happened, it was my MP for Chirepone, Honorable Razak Tairo. He came to rescue me.
The police is yet to make any arrests.
We're going to stay a while longer on this subject because the leadership of the governing NPP has committed to investigate alleged malpractices and assaults during the Super Delegate election and apply sanctions where necessary. Is this a right step for the party to take at this time ahead of November's elections? Dr. Asa Asante is a political science lecturer at the University of Ghana. He joins me live on Zoom. Thank you, sir, for your time, and good to have your News 360.
Yeah, good evening, Pa, and good evening to your cherished viewers.
I'm sure you've been following from the elections on Saturday and all that's been transpiring, all the reports on the media about how the elections panned out. You've heard from Alan Kyerematen on his take on what happened over the weekend. He says he's not going to tolerate any of these moving forward. What do you say to that?
I think he couldn't have said it better because it's gradually becoming a problem within the MPP, and that anytime there is a little issue, people want to resort to the use of violence. It doesn't augur well for a party such as MPP to have such miscreants within them to undermine all that they fought for over the years. So I support the call of Mr. Kyerematen that these things must be looked at critically and then investigated, and those who are culpable are sanctioned. That's it. My worry as a student of politics is that if you look at the fact that you have set rules regulating the conduct of people in an election, and these rules are thrown away without the party doing anything about it, it emboldens people to misbehave the next time. So I believe that the party have taken political notice of this, and they want to work very well to arrest this situation. The second problem I also have is the fact that people vote and they show the ballot to others. That is not the way to go. Election ballots are supposed to be kept secret, and that it is incumbent upon the party to make sure that this thing is preserved for all that it takes. This practice started from Parliament. NDC also copied, and now is in MPP. My worry is that if care is not taken and we take it to the national level 2024, then we open the floodgates for chaos. And this you and I don't want to witness.
But when you look at an election of such magnitude, don't you expect these very isolated cases to happen? I mean, especially when, you know, it didn't matter the generality of the elections. These incidents were isolated. It was not necessarily sanctioned by the party.
Yeah, nobody is saying that the party has sanctioned it, but we are saying that when people cross the lines that you have drawn, that people should operate within, when they breach those rules, they must be visited by the appropriate punishment. Your inability to sanction them, give them the courage to repeat that at another level. Who knows what will happen when this thing is not punished? And that is the worry. Otherwise, institutions become weak and they don't function at all. You and I know that as soon as institutions go down, we go back to the state of nature where you and I don't want to be there. So that is why we are saying that even if the incident is one, it is bad enough to destroy the whole political system that you have built over the years. So when people are found to be culpable, punish them so that it serves as deterrent.
And I'm particularly interested, Doc, in how the party is going to investigate this matter. I mean, we've heard from the victim. He stated his case. He's mentioned a few names. But, you know, who is going to come out to corroborate this information? How do you expect the party to go about investigating this matter and bringing people to book?
You are talking about a party full of lawyers. They know how to get evidence. So if indeed they are interested in going into the matter, they will look at the way to get all evidence and put them together and make meaning out of that. It is not out of their reach. They can do it. If they don't do it, they have their fingers to destroy one day. But I'm not sure this is a party which want to go on that route. They want to really make sure that rule of law prevails, because democracy is anchored on rule of law, without which we go back to state of nature.
Doc, thank you very much for joining us here on News 360. Dr. Kwame Asah-Asante is a political science lecturer at the University of Ghana.
And our President Akufo-Addo has warned maritime rating organizations to be cautious of inaccurate reportage, as it can impact a nation's global trade participation. He acknowledges their contributions to international shipping, but clarifies that petty theft incidents cannot be equated with piracy in the context of international maritime law definition. He was speaking at the opening of the 3rd International Maritime Defense Exhibition and Conference at Burma Camp here in Accra.
The two-day conference, attended by 300 participants from 22 countries, aims to address maritime security issues on Africa's blue economy. It will showcase the latest technologies and provide resolutions and recommendations to overcome challenges. President Akufo-Addo criticized maritime rating agencies for portraying events in the Gulf of Guinea as gloomy.
Government will continue with its naval infrastructure construction policy to improve the Navy's maritime response time. Government will continue supporting the Maritime Authority, the Ports and Harbors Authority, the fisheries sector, the various institutions in the oil and gas sector, and the entire maritime industry, with policies, equipment, training, and resources as part of maritime security capacity building.
A national integrated maritime strategy to address challenges in Ghana's maritime domain, focusing on blue economy sectors and ensuring safe and secure maritime operations, was also launched.
A reminder, you're still watching News 360. This is our major news bulletin for the day. We're streaming live on Facebook. We're also live on your DSTV channel 279. Now, the Media Foundation for West Africa has urged the Electoral Commission to prioritize people-centered decisions regarding the limited voter registration. The Executive Director, Suleiman Abrahima, was reacting to the Commission's decision to conduct the limited voter registration only at its district offices.
I think increasingly the Commission needs to appreciate the fact that they may be losing the support of the ordinary people, and the earlier they revert in doing measures that would ensure inclusion and participation, the better for all of us.
The Commission last week announced the commencement of a limited voter registration for eligible Ghanaians who turned 18 years after the 2020 registration exercise and other eligible voters from September 12 to October 2. 7 political parties without representation in Parliament opposed the Electoral Commission's decision to hold the limited voter registration at its district offices. According to the political parties, such a move would disenfranchise a number of Ghanaians who have attained the voting age. They want the Commission to instead open up the process for the exercise to be conducted at the electoral areas. NDC MP for Afram Plains, Betty Crosby Mensah, at a news conference criticized the decision, stating it might discourage participation.
I think that if the EC is therefore implementing a policy that would make it impossible for the vulnerable to be included in our electoral processes, then certainly that is a wrong step. And so what I would encourage them to do is that, look, they are serving the people, they are not serving themselves. And every decision that must be taken must be a decision that is in line with the interest of the people, a decision that reflects the aspirations of the people, a decision that reflects what is possible for the people to do.
The executive director of the Media Foundation for West Africa, Suleimana Brahima, stressed the importance of the electoral body understanding and adhering to its mandate.
Democracy is about the people. Democracy is about inclusion. Democracy is about participation. Democracy is about collective voices and collective decision making. And as institutions that are serving our democracy, it is important that we all act in ways that would ensure inclusion and leave no one behind.
He underscored the need for accessibility and logistical support during the registration process.
To say that limited voter registration exercises would only take place in district offices, unless the EC says, well, we have transport for every person who is eligible to register. Otherwise, why would the EC want to impose such a constraint on people who basically would want to register to exercise their franchise and to exercise their democratic rights?
The General Secretary of the Great Consolidated People's Party, GCPP, Atodazi, urged the Electoral Commission to safeguard the electoral process.
They are already behind time on their own calendar that they brought out. We just want to caution them that we don't intend to delay the process, but then our intention is to make sure that the average Ghanaian takes part in a process that they are entitled to do so, granted to them by the 1992 Constitution, Article 42. So they should really engage us. This should be in their own interest to delay the whole process.
Meanwhile, the Deputy Chairman of the National Commission for Civic Education, Samuel Asari Ekumua, has proposed that the Electoral Commission provides mobile vans for registering persons in remote communities during its limited voter registration. He was reacting to the Commission's decision to conduct the registration only at its district offices.
The Electoral Commission is going to do the exercise at the district centers, even though they are going to provide backup machines or many more machines at the centers. People who qualify to register may have to travel all the way to the centers to be captured. What is the incentive? What is the motivation for that young guy who has turned 18 kilometers away to board commercial transport to the center to come and register, when in fact he has a Ghana card? Because in the past, the motivation was that the voter's ID card was used for other things other than elections. So people will spend money to go and get it. Now they have a Ghana card, which they can use for the other things. So if this is a voter for elections, and he thinks he doesn't need it, he will go. So we need to motivate them. It is mandatory that we provide the access. I have suggested and I have appealed to the EC that they may even create mobile centers to, take up those who are far away in the populous areas where they may not be motivated to come to the center to register. So that the mobile van that will go to that periphery of the district will be a sort of motivation for them to offer themselves for the registration.
A former education minister in the as-well National Democratic Congress administration, Dr. Ekos Gabra, supports a review of the free senior high school policy to make it attractive and competitive in global education. He made the observation at an event to mark the available latest edition of the Ghana Directory of Scholarships and Financial Assistance.
I think there's been a proposal, and I don't know whether it will be happening in this current administration, of a review of the free senior high school system. I think that there's a general consensus, on both sides of the parliamentary divide, that a review, people misunderstood what review meant. People thought if you say you are reviewing, you are rejecting. But now the government itself is using the word review for many, many other things that they claim must be reviewed. So if we have a proper review and the appropriate individuals are assembled.
The Scholarship Directory offers over 200 local and global funding opportunities for prospective students.
This directory helps students, especially those who are in the second cycle schools and who are now thinking about their university or tertiary education, to be able to plot out much more effectively. And so in this one directory, we have aggregated all the sources of scholarships and financial assistance that we, Africa Business Center for Developing Education, are aware of.
According to the National Library Authority, the innovation will bolster education in the country.
Until today, we did not have curated resources when it comes to scholarships across the world. For a team to actually sit down and research and create a book, I think this is quite, commendable.
The 2023 edition of the directory is the second publication.
And now to the northern region, where traditional authorities in Tamale have condemned the use of live ammunition to disperse the crowd following a misunderstanding between the police and the youth. They are demanding the immediate release of 13 arrested individuals and seized motorbikes. Briefing the media after a crunch meeting, spokesperson for the chiefs, Alhaji Abdul Latif Sahana, described the actions by the police as unprofessional.
The police besieged the Bukonas Palace by using water cannons and live ammunition, firing into the palace. Actually, personally, that annoyed me and angered me so much because it is the palace that is our place of refuge. If you are being chased by anybody, you run to the palace, then you are safe. But for the police to come and attack the Bukonas Palace is something that we didn't understand. We requested that the 13 people who were arrested and placed in custody should be immediately and unconditionally released from captivity. Then their motorbikes released to them. Whilst, we see the way forward. And the police told us that one of their side weapons and the watch, I don't know what type of watch was it, was taken. So you people were here and bear us witness that. We told the youth.
And now, former MPP Northern Regional Chairman Chief Bugri Naabu on Monday validated the content of a leaked audio tape at the center of a plot to oust the IGP, Dr. George Kufu Dampare. At a parliamentary committee sitting on Monday, Chief Bugri Naabu confirmed that he assigned persons to record the conversation. Here is why.
Since I cannot keep everything they were talking to me at that point, it was very, very good to record them so that I know the president. If I tell him something, he will follow up with the truth. Next time, he will not give me respect. You know him and I know him. So the best thing was to ensure that when I tell him, he asked me, "Are you sure?" I said, "Well, this is the tape. I don't want to miss it. You listen to it."
Let's get some education with regards to the legal issues surrounding this leaked audio tape. Private legal practitioner Martin Kpebu has joined us via Zoom. Mr. Kpebu, good evening. Thank you for joining us. Tell us what the position of the law is when it comes to such audio recordings.
Right. So the principle is that those audio recordings are usually admissible in a court of law, so they can be used as evidence, okay, depending on the circumstances. And the circumstances are this. That's if the recording is secret, the circumstances or the factors that a court would use to determine whether to admit such evidence are: one, what is in the audio? Is it necessary? Does it promote our democracy? Will it advance a public interest? Yes, that's the whole thing. Will it advance a public interest? The public interest can also include prevention of what? Crime and disorder. So you say in the audio, they are discussing how to rig elections. That's a very critical matter of public interest. Very, very, very critical. How to rig an election. Any day, it's a matter of grave public interest, you see. So those are the indicia. Maybe for emphasis, we can read Article 18, Clause 2. That even gives provision for interference with somebody's privacy. Then we'll go to the Supreme Court case of Raphael Kubeji. So 18, Clause 2 says, no person shall be subjected to interference with the privacy of his home, property, correspondence, or communication, except in accordance with law and as may be necessary in a free and democratic society for public safety or the economic well-being of the country, for the protection of health or morals, for the prevention of disorder or crime, or for the protection of the rights or freedoms of others.
Mr. Kpebu.
So this matter came up in the case of Raphael Kubeji, and that's where the Supreme Court said, yes, we know when you do a secret recording, it can infringe on the rights of others. But if what is in the recording were near to the public benefit, there's public interest in it, that recording will be admissible. So that will be evidence.
But tell us what you make of this particular audio recording and what you make of the parliamentary committee sitting so far.
Yeah, so the parliamentary committee sitting is a right thing to do. It's a right thing to do so that we get to the bottom of it. Yes, because as I've said, to talk about rigging elections, look, and I've heard some people say, oh, that's usually bragging. No, 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 you can't brag with such a matter. So I support the parliamentary probe. It's bipartisan, right? I support it 150%, and I'm looking forward to their findings so that those officers involved, yeah, let the law take its course. Because to think about destabilizing this country, that's treasonable. Treasonable. You don't joke with such a thing. To rig elections is a very grave matter. So it's good that the Speaker set up the committee. They should go into it and afterwards look to see if it's possible to have a criminal prosecution. Yeah, because we can't countenance such, what do you call it, behavior, such nefarious activities and intentions. No. So it's the right thing to do, at least for now.
We're grateful for your time this evening. Martin Kpebu is a private legal practitioner. This is News 360, and coming up in the bulletin, Ghana Education Service dismisses Assistant Headmaster of Nkwetia Presbyterian Senior High School for allegedly slapping a female student.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to demonstrate to you the superior properties of Flamingo paint. As compared to other paint brands on the market, we take equal quantities of Flamingo paint and this ordinary paint. We then dilute them with water. And now, let the test begin. The gentleman on the left is going to apply the ordinary paint, and the gentleman on my right will use the Flamingo superior paint. As you can clearly see, Flamingo has the obvious better hiding. Furthermore, Flamingo has painted a much larger area. You know, one bucket of Flamingo paint is equal to several buckets of any other paint brand on the market. Flamingo paint is made with superior formulation to give superior durability, superior hiding, superior coverage. Flamingo paint, simply superior.
You are your own person, unique, one of a kind, special. That's why you deserve everything tailored to suit your particular taste, your preference, your needs. Just like MTN Just For You. You can get customized offers tailored to who you are. Dial *141# or use the MyMTN app to get to choose from a variety of offers made just for you.
Choose Sukasa for the highest quality, luxurious townhouses in East Lagoon Hills. 2, 3, and 4 bedroom in a gated community starting at $40,000 in Accra, Ghana. Sukasa, building on trust.
With Glovo, you order anything you want, and when you receive it, you celebrate it with your whole body. Because when that tasty grilled chicken is here, the weekend starts. The ingredients for your favorite recipe just in time. And when the cake arrives, the party is on. Because receiving anything on Glovo deserves a dance. Download the app, order anything you want, and track it minute by minute until it arrives. Glovo. Order anything, we deliver in minutes.
Day men, strong and refined, the skincare you deserve. Dream.
Whenever you fly to space or take your first step as baby, Soft Care always stays with you.
New Soft Care Space Series is rooted from space technology. Keeps you dry and comfortable for 12 hours long. Offers you the most effective protection during your space journey.
Soft Care. Protect your leap.
The business segment is brought to you by MTN, Pepsodent Charcoal and Pepsodent Herbal.
Thank you for staying with us. Michael has joined us. Michael, it seems that hoteliers in the country are not so happy about something.
Yeah, there is some concerns that they feel that the Public Utility PURC hasn't acted on, and we'll bring you the details shortly.
Sure.
Thank you. Good evening. Welcome to the business segment here on News 360. My name is Michael Obodu. Straight into our first story, as the Ghana Hotels Association has called out the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission for failing to get the Ghana Water Company Limited to correct anomalies with the classification of its members. According to the association, it petitioned the authorities severally over the concern to no avail. Speaking at a press conference to express their frustration, President of the association, Dr. Edward Akanyamike, while calling for a swift resolution to the issue, lamented the situation had left huge utility debts on the books of its members.
Very unhappy with this disheartening letter from the PURC. The association petitioned the Ghana Tourism Authority with copies to the sector minister and the Parliamentary Select Committee on Trade, Industry and Tourism to intervene in the matter. The GTA requested a meeting with the PURC mid of July 2023, but that meeting is yet to take place. We are obviously unhappy and expect the PURC to act on its directive to the Ghana Water Company for the months of February, March, April and May 2023 that has created huge debts for our members.
The association has further called on authorities to ensure they do all they can for the hospitality industry to thrive.
We trust that we have put out here this morning, or what we have put out here this morning, will serve as a wake-up call to the government, ministries and agencies to pay more attention to some of the issues confronting the hotel industry and the tourism and hospitality industry at large to ensure its sustenance and growth. As we say in our association, together we can make a difference.
The Ghana Hotels Association had intended to march to the premises of the PURC to present another petition. However, plans were altered due to what they described as the non-cooperation of the police service. Now, the Executive Director of the Peasant Farmers Association, Dr. Charles Nyaba, has described the second phase of the government's Planting for Food and Jobs program as timely. Dr. Nyaba believes the new design of the program is likely to yield positive results in the agricultural sector if properly implemented. According to Dr. Charles Nyaba, the first phase of the program was poorly implemented, hindering its success.
The launch of PFG2 is timely because PFG1, apart from the 2017 and 2018 implementation, the rest of the years, nothing was actually being done. It got to a point, you agree with me, that government could not even pay importers. Government owns so much that the importers refuse to deliver the inputs. And once you already made farmers know that subsidized inputs will be coming and it doesn't come, they will not be willing to buy the open market inputs which were available.
However, he is optimistic that the second phase will encourage Ghanaian youth into farming and help reduce unemployment.
One of the major constraints that is discouraging new farmers, young people who just complete tertiary institutions from going into farming is difficulty access to credit. You are a young person, you don't even have the starter capital. Yes, when you go to the bank, they are asking for collateral. But I'm told, per the strategic document of the PFG2, that private sector actors will be giving credit guarantee letters to go to the bank and then take credit. Then when they produce, they will pay later whilst the banks pay those service providers. That's fantastic.
Planting for Food and Jobs Phase 2 is a 5-year program which aims to transform agriculture in Ghana by focusing on modernization, improved service delivery, active private sector participation, and substituting direct input subsidies with smart agricultural financial support in the form of comprehensive input credit with provision for in-kind payments. Economist Dr. Saad Idrisu is impressing on successive governments to support Ghanaian youth to enter into commercial farming. According to him, the capital requirement for commercial farming is beyond the capacity of the youth and will require assistance.
I am calling on successive government. Any government that will come in 2025 onwards should be able to take agriculture seriously, so that we'll be able to divert the attention of the youth into agriculture with support. I am saying this because agriculture is expensive in our part of the world in terms of tractor, in terms of fertilizers and other inputs. Government support will be able to help the youth to be able to start their own large-scale farms, so that we will have enough to feed the nation and also think of exporting. Look at what is happening in Nigeria right now. It has led to onions prices increasing in the market, which to me is unfortunate, when we could even cultivate onions on our own in Ghana.
Financial analyst Patrick Abankwaba is of the view hoarding of huge sums of money at home has the potential to derail government's efforts towards a cashless society. This trend, he noted, is starving financial institutions of investable funds for private sector businesses.
According to Patrick Abankwaba, the act of keeping huge sums of money at home could encourage money laundering. It also defeats efforts towards a cash-light society and the central bank printing less money.
It's high time central bank, the banks themselves, education on the part of the customers are being done to ensure that certain limits are set on some withdrawals. People are allowed to withdraw any amount of money that they want to withdraw from the bank, provided the bank has cash. For me, that is a worry. And when you continue to go towards that direction, then this whole concept and drama around going cashless, banks bringing up their channels, transfers, internet banking, for me, it's not working. People have the perception that if I keep my money at the bank, I won't have access to my money when I need it because of some challenges that we face in recent times.
Well, that will be all for the business segment here on News 360. For more business stories, please check out our website, 3news.com. My name is Michael Obodu. Thank you for watching. As always, please stay safe. Over to you, Aisha.
To some more stories tonight, the Ghana Education Service has relieved the Assistant Headmaster of the Nkwetia Presby SHS of his duties for allegedly slapping a female student. The Assistant Headmaster is reported to have assaulted a female student for going out of campus without permission. Following this incident, the GES has issued a statement to condemn the act of the Assistant Headmaster. The Eastern Regional Director of Education is liaising with school authorities and law enforcement agencies to investigate the matter. Meanwhile, the affected student is receiving medical care and counseling. There's more on that particular story on 3news.com. We have some sports news coming up next. Please stay with us.
You are your own person, unique, one of a kind, special. That's why you deserve everything tailored to suit your particular taste, your preference, your needs. Just like MTN Just For You. You can get customized offers tailored to who you are. Dial *141# or use the MyMTN app to get to choose from a variety of offers made just for you.
Pepsodent introduces charcoal and lemon essence. The unique combination of natural essences whitens teeth naturally for you and family because every smile matters. New Pepsodent Herbal. Introducing a unique combination of herbal extracts in an antibacterial toothpaste for strong teeth and healthy gums that protects your family and you. Every smile matters.
Are you tired of struggling with bad financial situations? At Quick Credit, we understand the difficulties that come with transitioning to a better one. That's why we're here to simplify the process for you. With loan facilities from 1,500 cedis upwards, all you have to do is call and we will take care of the rest. All you need is your national ID. No savings, no collateral, no susu, no deposits, and no account opening required. Quick Credit has you covered. Whether you're expanding a business, starting a new one, facing an emergency like school fees or funeral expenses, or even just in need of a salary loan. What are you waiting for? Call Quick Credit today. 0302 200 390 or 059 692 0833. We do not give loans via the internet. Quick Credit is regulated and licensed by the Bank of Ghana. Terms and conditions apply. Quick Credit. Lending made simple.
There are some moments that last forever because they happen only once. Like your very first day, your first day of school, your first successful bike ride. What's your child's next milestone? Auntie Mary's Gripe Mixture is here to ensure they smile through it all. Auntie Mary's Gripe Mixture has been keeping children smiling for more than a decade by relieving them from gastric pain, flatulence, minor digestive upset, and teething discomfort. Now, Auntie Mary's Gripe Mixture. Auntie Mary's Gripe Mixture is manufactured and distributed by Ernest Chemists Limited. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Sports segment is brought to you by Bell Pack Tissues.
It's time now for the very latest in the world of sports. Thierry Nan joins us. Thierry, what's happening? What's the latest?
Well, the Super League that CAF promised is in a pipeline and we are getting there. And so they've announced which clubs are going to be involved. Plus, we have some news from the Black Stars as well.
Take it over.
And so CAF have announced that the inaugural edition of the African Football League will begin in October 2023. The EFL will feature 8 of Africa's most famous and successful teams from the African continent. The teams are Al Ahly, Esperance Sportive de Tunis, Wydad, Enyimba, TP Mazembe, Mamelodi Sundowns, Atletico Petrolos, and then Simba. Now, the draw for the AFL competition will be held in Cairo, Egypt on September 2nd, 2023. Now, in just over a week, the Black Stars will host Central Africa Republic in the final qualifier for the 2023 Africa Cup of Nations. Head coach Chris Hughton will be sweating over the fitness of a number of players for the crunch fixture. Here is an update on the fitness of some of the key players.
Salis Samid remains a doubt after spraining his ankle in the first half against Paris Saint-Germain. He was subbed off at halftime and couldn't complete the game over the weekend. Majid Ashimeru is yet to play for Anderlecht in the last 4 games, with his last appearance coming on July 28. The midfielder is currently nursing a hamstring injury and his return date is unknown. In France, Mohamed Salisu hasn't played for his new side AS Monaco after joining them this summer. The 24-year-old has only played 30 minutes of pre-season for Southampton, and although he has started training for his new club, lacks match fitness. Iñaki Williams missed the previous game against Madagascar due to a knee injury, but the Athletic Club striker is fit and scoring now. Gideon Mensah made a return last weekend for Auxerre after missing the last 2 games due to injury. Jojo Wollacott has been absent since early August after suffering a thigh injury for his new side Hibernian. Tariq Lamptey has been out of competitive action for Brighton since March due to injury concerns. However, Lamptey made strides during the pre-season, participating in the club's Premier League Summer Series in America and featuring for the Under-21 side in a Premier League 2 victory over Chelsea.
We are getting very, very close to the end of the transfer window, but the João Felix saga rages on, with the Portuguese desperate to leave Atletico Madrid, while Inter Milan complete their search for a new defender. Here is the 3 Sports transfer wrap for today.
Atletico Madrid winger João Felix awaits a possible transfer to Barcelona after indicating his intention to play for the Catalan club. Liverpool have also showed interest in Felix, but the deal will be dependent on the possible departure of Mohamed Salah from Merseyside to Saudi Arabia. Inter Milan have completed the signing of Benjamin Pavard from Bayern Munich on a €32 million total package. The 2018 world champion is expected to complete his medical with Inter in the coming days. Manchester United are closing in on the signing of Altay Bayındır from Fenerbahce on a permanent transfer worth €7 million. United look to complete the final paperwork with Bayındır, set to be a backup goalkeeper to Andre Onana. Spurs fullback Jet Spence is set to join Leeds United on a loan deal from Tottenham after an agreement was reached between the 2 clubs for the English defender. A £1 million loan fee was agreed, with the player given the green light to complete the move.
Now, you may have heard of the scandal that involved Spain after they won the Women's World Cup. Let me tell you the updates there. And Jenny Hermoso has been backed by the United Nations Human Rights Office after being kissed by Spanish Football Federation President Luis Rubiales. Now, the UN organization said everyone has a responsibility to call out and challenge sexual harassment and abuse. Hermoso said the kiss on her lips following Spain's Women's World Cup final win was not consensual, which Rubiales strenuously disputes. Rubiales has been criticized for his behavior but has refused to resign. He has taken that stance despite being provisionally suspended for 90 days by world governing body FIFA from all football activities. Now, in the world of tennis, Ons Jabeur overcame breathing difficulties and her own attitude to book her place in the second round of the US Open with a grueling victory.
Betway is your gateway to a theme park full of gaming excitement.
A whirlpool of wonder where your favorite games come to life. Where you can take to the skies with max payouts that reach into the millions. All in the palm of your hand. Visit betway.com.gh. Terms and conditions apply. Betway is regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18. Bet responsibly.
Water is life. Water gives life. Water moves through nature in a never-ending cycle. Observe the beauty of water as it flows all around us, refreshing and restoring. Gaze in wonder at the stillness and beauty of nature. There's harmony in nature everywhere around. Water revitalizes the body and keeps you going strong. Water is life. Water gives life. Drink Awake Purified Drinking Water. One for life. So relax and unwind, and in the calmness of nature, find the rest you desire. For every bottle of Awake you buy, an amount to be donated to the National Cardiothoracic Center. This advert is said here.
Mo networks are use no. I'm planning and I'm recharge ya. Munyam everyone so. Mabwa, Capre, way. And that's what you want. Muntian Cabo did through. Vodafone say every Saturday, a Brevia Uber recharge from 5 cities El Cobiano. Assigned with seek up to 20% amount back cash. Our Vodafone cash so. It shock you? With the young yarn say Uber recharge. Say my Vodafone app. Vodafone cash, credit transfer, short code, MOBIA, Uradia,
Top up your airtime with 5 Ghana Cedi or more in Vodafone's double promotion and receive up to 20% of your money back straight into your Vodafone cash wallet. Recharge and cash out in the Vodafone double promotion.
Vodafone, further together.
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by Awake Purified Drinking Water. GTP, still timeless. Vodafone, further together. And powered by 3 Entertainment.
And oh yes, she's here to serve it hot and spicy.
Hi, Pakwisi.
Hi, Anita. How you doing?
I'm well,
been,
and
actually?
you? Come again?
Where have you been?
I've been around.
Yes. It's been a while.
Yeah.
So what are you serving us tonight? Hot and spicy?
Yes.
What are you serving us?
So Abiana is in the news, and of course Olive Boy is in the... You know Olive Boy?
I've heard the name,
yeah.
But of course I know Abiana.
Yes, but I don't know Olive Boy.
No, I don't.
Okay, you should check him out.
Tell us about him.
All right.
Tell us about him.
My name is Anita Ekia Ekufu, and from the camp of Abiana, who is an award-winning vocalist. She has high expectations when it comes to her song titled Far Away, which features Fami. And speaking of the making of the song on New Day, the vocal powerhouse believes Far Away would be a perfect fit for a movie, given its captivating and storyline. In August this year, award-winning vocalist Abiana teamed up with Fami on a classic high-life tune they titled Far Away. The vocal powerhouse tells her perfect love story with farewell for those who believe in the beautiful concept of love. Premiered on August 9, Far Away has received some positive reviews from music enthusiasts and amassed some huge numbers on streaming platforms. The two great talents have been speaking about the making of the song.
Let's take the whole thing. From my point, I have a melody playing. So I have it in mind, and already I know that's okay. I played it on a key C, and then the A minor, so, and then back to the C. So I had that in mind, so I told the guitarist to start playing. So as the guitarist started playing, all the songs started like coming together. For me, it was a vibe. Charlie, he was there, sitting down. But when he entered the studio, that was the first time ever experienced another artist like recording.
So it's not like you went with a paper with your lyrics. No. Did you write it in the studio?
Yes.
In the studio?
It took like, I think, 4 hours.
Yeah, like with the production and everything. If you are good, you are good. She started it, I was waiting to enter into the booth and do my thing. I recorded line after line because I don't want to say anything that will not connect with what she's saying.
Exactly.
When it comes to every music, because I wouldn't have time to pen it down. Yeah. So I connected with the spirit, and vocally, everybody know.
Yeah. I mean, she's one female vocalist.
Honestly, I was scared of recording her here because crazy. But we did it. At the end of the day, we did it.
Is this your usual kind of music? Well, this is a bit different from what you are used to.
Low-key, I be lover boy, but you see, because of the hustle, no.
Hustle,
I'm a painting picture, and for me, is that, that street, but I'm very soft.
Abiana has high expectations for A Faraway Place.
You talked about Faraway being a song that should feature in a movie. Tell me why that seems to be your aim at the moment with the song.
I love the storyline, and even when everyone hears it, the way they envision the song, I know it's big.
And away from that, fast emerging Guinean singer and good scene hitmaker Olive the Boy says he's put his education on hold to focus fully on his career. The science student at KNUST promised fans that he will get back to school just at the right time. And Olive the Boy also opened up about the next artist he wants to collaborate with.
Music, how does it feel to finally be here? Your songs being played everywhere. Davido vibing to your song. How does that feel?
It was amazing, and it was.
You had to stretch that out, right?
It has its ups and downs. Okay. I mean, it feels amazing. It feels good. I feel like we've been rewarded. This is what we wanted to get. This is what we prayed for, and now we're here. My mom called me, right? And she was like, I was not supporting her first. I'm sorry, because I think it was all because she believed that I could do something with school rather than music. She was also into music. She started it, and it didn't really go far. So I have things I want to do with school too. So I'm offering metallurgical engineering. Kumasi.
You're a science student?
Yeah.
Metallurgical engineering.
At Kumasi.
Okay.
And then business at Lake.
How do you shuffle between the two? Isn't the calendar the same?
No, I'm doing distance.
For tech?
For which one?
For
Legon.
And then regular.
Okay. Oh, regular for tech, but distance for Legon.
Yes.
But how is that going? All of a sudden, you've blown up. You're popular everywhere. You started playing shows. TikTok is taking the song by storm. I mean, you are everywhere now. How are you juggling everything?
Like I said, you don't really know which song is gonna go. But since I'm a go-getter and I believe everything, I believed that it was gonna go. But I did not know it was gonna be so
this big.
Yeah, so when the hits came, I had to defer a bit and then make sure that I am stable enough.
So deferred which one, Legon or Tech? Oh, you've deferred?
Yeah,
both.
So you've deferred for the meantime?
For the meantime.
Okay.
So when are you resuming school?
Maybe next year.
But the way things are going, do you think you can ever go back to school?
Oh, yeah.
Talk to us about collaborations. Who are the...
He's definitely a talent you should look forward to. My name is Anita Ikia Ikufu. That will be your for the Entertainment News segment. Have a good evening.
Wagner chief Yevgeny Prigozhin has been buried in a private funeral in St. Petersburg, according to his press service. It said the ceremony in his home city was held in a closed format, and all those wishing to say goodbye can visit the Prokhorovsky Cemetery. The mercenary chief was confirmed dead by Russian officials after genetic analysis of 10 bodies found in a crashed plane on 23rd August near Moscow. The Kremlin has denied speculation it was to blame for the crash, but a number of Russia watchers, both in the country and abroad, have described Prigozhin, 62, as a dead man walking since an aborted armed mutiny he led back in June. All 10 people on board, including Prigozhin's right-hand man, Dmitry Yutkin, died in the crash in the Tver region northwest of Moscow.
And before we go, remember to brush your teeth before you go to bed this evening and tomorrow morning when you wake up from bed with either Pepsodent Cavity Fighter, Pepsodent Charcoal, Pepsodent Herbal, or Pepsodent Triple Protection. Because with Pepsodent, Aisha, every smile matters. That's how we conclude News 360. For more news, you can log on to our website. It's www.3news.com. NigerIsLive.com. My name is Pa Kwesi Asari.
And I am Aisha Yakubu Khalid. Enjoy the rest of our programs and have a good evening.